To the Town of Milton Board of Selectmen's meeting, December 18th, 2017. If you'd please stand for pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everybody for coming this evening. Up for new business, discussion and possible actions. Our first line of duty here is to appoint our deputy treasurer, and she is to be sworn in tonight. So that would be our very own Miss Peg Hurd, and I will swear her in. Come right to the front here. I will not swear at you. Please raise your right hand. I,
Peg Hurd,
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all duties incumbent on me as deputy treasurer of the Town of Milton, New Hampshire, according to the best of my abilities, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
The Constitution and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Our new deputy treasurer.
Okay, you guys have got to sign this, and she's got to sign this. So, could you both sign there, and then we'll get her to sign.
May I sit now?
You can sit.
Oh, thank you.
You may sit.
Deputy, I want a badge.
Is,
Don't get ahead of yourself.
oh, and I had got
No.
Steve Baker. Okay, so up next was the discussion of the NIAID, the removal efforts. I'll just move that down. Maybe Steve's running a little late tonight, so we'll move that down. So up next is the preliminary review of the draft warrant article submitted by the Conservation Committee to the Board of Selectmen. So, did you read this warrant article, Brian?
Yep.
So, I'll read the warrant article, and the warrant article states is to see if the town will pursue to RSA 80:80V, vote to retain for the public use, said use being a permanent conservation easement with the public access to be stewarded by a qualified conservation organization, a certain property received by tax deed, said property being approximately 5.5 acres and located on a Class 6 portion of Winding Road, formerly known as map 41 lot 6811, 6812, 6813, 14, and 15, all 68, exclusive of dedicated right-of-way and references by the subdivision plat recorded in the SCRD as filed 85/495 dated June 6, 2006, now merged into one lot, referenced by voluntary merger and noticed recorded in the SCRD as book 4533, page 844, dated December 11th, 2017. So, that's what the warrant article is going to look like on election day, to merge that 5.5 acres with the other, I don't know, 70 acres or whatever it is down on Casey Road. So, any questions?
No, but
Yeah,
all right to me.
okay. So that's where we're at with that. We don't have any conservation in here tonight that wants to talk about it, so I think I pretty much explained what the gist of it is. So, do you have anything, Heather, on that? Okay. So up next, we have the 2017 encumbrances for the cemetery and the economic development. I thought the library wanted. Did you want to do encumbrances?
I have a couple of small things that may or may not be paid this month. I have two purchases from on my credit card, one to Staples for $99.99, and it's a shredder for patron use. And I also bought a laminated poster, which is the Native Americans map, and that's $35. And then I have an Amazon order that I haven't seen a bill for, and that's for $274.41, and I have all 3 copies of the purchase
Okay.
orders right here.
Okay, so do you have a total on your, did you need a total?
No, she just mentioned them individually.
Okay, all right, so that's all the encumbrances you'll have for this year?
Yes.
But she knows
Okay.
it now.
Okay, so I'll make, you wanna make a motion, Ryan? Or do you wanna
Go ahead,
make it?
you can do it.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to encumbrance her 3 invoices that she just mentioned for the sums that are on the invoices.
I'll second it. You want to just repeat the 3 numbers?
What are the dollar figures again?
$274.41, $99.99, and $35.
Okay. For that figure. Okay. All
I'll
right.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So up next is John Cadwick for the cemetery. You had some encumbrances, John?
I think you're referring to the town administrator's budget, the $3,000 for software.
Yeah, and I wanted to encumber the $3,000 for software.
Okay. All right.
But if it's okay, I'd like to share with you beyond that point that you're probably not aware of.
Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead,
The
floor's yours.
cemetery trustees ended up 55% underspent this year. And we rebudgeted again the same amount this year, passed 100% across the board by everybody, and I gotta thank everybody for that. But there's 4,400 and some odd, I don't know the exact rate to the penny, that's left over in the general fund. There's a request in to take that balance from the general fund and put it in the Milton Cemetery Trust Fund, expandable trust fund. The check's set in someplace, all made out, wait for you, Mr. Chairman, to sign it.
It's in the checks? Yeah, I signed it.
Okay, thank you. So
You're all
I don't
set.
have any encumbrances other than that.
Yeah, just Pam hasn't signed it yet, but
Okay.
yeah, it's been signed.
Does that answer your question?
That's,
Well, that's fine.
yeah, so I'll make a motion to encumbrance the $3,000 for the cemetery
Software.
software.
Okay. And I also have $2,500 for the Milton Economic Development.
Okay, do you want to,
Second.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay.
thank
So I
you.
give them to you all. Okay.
And so what's the 2,500 for the,
It was part of their budget.
sorry?
Roll call.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
My colleague here is
Well, I was trying to do
screwing
them
me
all
up
at
here.
once. I was trying to do them
Well,
all
we
at
don't do
once.
them all at once, we do them separate, that's how we
Okay.
normally do them.
Okay.
Thank you. So what's the next encumbrance?
The next encumbrance for Milton
Okay.
Economic Development, they wanted to do 2,500 because there was a shortage, if you remember, in the budget package for staffing at the UNH Cooperative Extension, so they wanted to do 2,500.
Honey,
Okay.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry, can you speak up?
They're encumbering $2,500 for economic development, Milton Economic Development Committee, so.
Okay,
So
all right. Okay, and what is that for again?
the Milton Economic Development.
No, I know it's for the economic,
Oh,
what
it's
is
for
it?
the UNH Cooperative Extension had a staffing shortage for something project they needed them to work on.
Okay,
It's all in the budget packet, so it's originally there, it was part of the
Right.
budget presentation, so they asked to encumber that.
okay.
Nick has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick, go ahead.
We had budgeted to do that business outreach program,
Yeah,
and like Heather said, they were short-staffed, so we didn't get it through, but we're scheduled, I didn't make the last economic development meeting, but we're scheduled to do it in the coming year.
okay, now I know what you're talking about. I feel comfortable now, thank you. I exactly know what you're talking about, so, no, I'm fine with that. So, I'll make a motion to encumbrance of $2,500 for the Economic Development Committee.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Nick.
We have one more.
One more. What is it?
cover that.
Okay, I will make a motion to encumbrance the $2,025 for urban tree for the highway department.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, there you go.
Police chief.
I'm sorry, chief.
So I didn't send it down to the town administrator yet for encumbrance because I'm expecting them to come in either this week or next week. But we ordered the replacement for the 5 bulletproof vests. They should be in this week or next week. If they don't, then I'll give it to the town administrator. It's encumbrance for the 5 vests, which is $900 a vest, so it's $4,500. So we'll have to encumber that so we can pay it next year out of the grant line. But like, as you know, we get half of that money back from the federal grant that we've already received. We just have to wait we can't apply for the grant until we've paid for them.
Right. So do you want to encumbrance that tonight?
Sure, we can encumber the $4,500.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to encumbrance the $4,500 for the police department for bulletproof vests.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As you know, if there is something that's left over from this year, in the first meeting of next year, we might have some more that come forward, but these are the ones we want new of. And there was an email that went out to the department heads that said, please send us your encumbrances, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few more come in January.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have anything, Nick? You don't have any money. Okay. All right, so. Okay. So that's it for encumbrances so far. Okay, go ahead.
And Chief, I just ask you to make a mark on this encumbrance for mine. Last year when we encumbered these, because we got the vests last year, when that grant money came back, the grant money came back in too late in the year for it to get pushed back onto 2016. So for some reason it got pushed back into my grant line for this year on 2017. So it looks like my grant line has $9,000 in it instead of having $5,000 in it like it's supposed to. So if we can just make sure we put some type of mark on it so that when the grant money comes back in from the federal government, it goes back into the general fund, not into my grant line.
Okay.
I'll speak with the finance officer about that.
Yeah, thank you. We would rather have that in the general fund.
It's going to go back in the general fund at the end of the year, but it just saves me from the headache of explaining it to the budget committee and to whoever else looks at the budget
And
printout.
about 12 emails, at least.
Okay, up next is discussion on town maintenance section of Boland Road, complaint regarding emergency services and current road conditions. Renee Porter. Is Renee here? No Renee? Okay. Well, really can't talk about it unless she's here, I guess. I mean,
We're asking about maintaining a private section of the road, which if
yeah,
it's
I mean,
a private road, unfortunately.
if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
I mean,
So there's a portion of Boland Road that is private, and unfortunately Renee lives on that portion of the private road, and she's looking for the town to maintain that portion of private road. And you know, unfortunately, the town cannot use tax dollars to maintain private roads. It's very clear. I actually looked into it myself. It states in a very clear RSA that you cannot use tax dollars to maintain private roads in Milton. So unfortunately, if she was here, I'd like to talk to her, but she's not. But that's what this is about. So, does anybody else have any?
What's the definition of a private road then? Is it privately owned by a single person, or?
No, it's determined on the class of the road.
It's not been accepted by the town.
In this particular piece of Boland Road wasn't accepted. It's not, you know, it wasn't accepted by the town. We wanted to accept it, but yeah, I know. See, thank you. I was getting to. It's a class 6 road, yeah. So unfortunately, it's private. So,
With the whole
The
def-
council portion of it, then you're saying that a portion of it isn't private? Or,
yeah,
I don't understand
yeah, it's just, you know, it's just the
the way
way,
they're made.
yeah, go ahead, chief.
So the portion of Bowen Road that they're talking about, the portion of the road is actually owned by the houses that live on the road. The other portion of the road was adopted by the town of Milton because the road was wide enough and built to the standard that the town would adopt it. The other portion, for the town to be able to adopt that portion, they would have to widen the road to meet the standard that the town would have, and then the town would have to put it on vote in March to adopt the road, that extra portion of the road to expend the funds.
The reason I'm asking is I believe we live on a section of road from Rocky Point.
Yep.
That probably falls under the same.
Rocky Point is private, yes.
Yeah, the end of Rocky Point.
Yes.
Yeah, and I will say, yeah, I'll get right to you, chief. You know, we try to move forward with making this a town road, but unfortunately, some of the people who lived on Bowen Road opted out.
Right.
And so that's where we're at.
I think that's our same situation too. A lot of the people that are just there in the summertime, they like it having, you know, just an 8-foot wide road and you know the quaintness of the road. Yet now those of us who are going to be there full time,
Right.
we don't get it maintained. So
Yeah, depending on the section of Rocky Point you're on.
right, yeah.
Go ahead, chief.
No, I was just gonna say that there was, when we tried to take it as a town road in 2003 or 4, whatever it was, there was people on that road that refused to give easements, so that section didn't make it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Do you want to say something, Larry? You just
Yeah. I think you will find the selectmen's minutes of that same time frame and a reading of the small print at the bottom of the RSA. There is a certain provision where there is an imminent risk to public health and safety that the town may, for specified reasons, override because it represents a general benefit to the health, safety, and welfare of the town. And that would be back when Tom was first coming onto the board.
Yeah, maybe she
If you
could.
need any historic reference for anything you may decide to do with extraordinary snowfall over the season.
references on how to handle this.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Larry. We'll appreciate that. So up next. Is the requesting of alternate trustees positions to be created, 202A6, Miss Betsy Baker. That's, is this, did you put this on the agenda?
Well, I put it on the agenda. Yeah.
Okay.
And if on behalf of the library trustees. Basically, the 202A6 does allow for alternates for the Board of Trustees of the library. And we want to create such a position, and we do have somebody who is interested in filling that position.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, if you looked at that law, it is the Board of Selectmen that approved.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I have no problem. I have no problem with that. So what you
I don't
need,
either.
you need our blessing?
I think we need your blessing, and then at the next meeting, if we could have Miranda and Myrie appointed to that trustee position, that alternate trustee position.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to create an alternate trustee position for the library trustee.
Yep, and I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Is that fine, Larry?
What we're looking for is a farm club system, just like the major leagues.
Okay. All right, perfect.
So do I need to fill out another requisition for next month's meeting to, okay.
So up next is the adjustment schedule meetings for January 8th and the 22nd, due to the holidays and the approved town holiday schedule for a full year of 2018. So,
We have New Year's Day, and then Civil Rights and Martin Luther King Day falls on both Mondays that we normally meet. So we need to adjust our schedule to January 8th and the 22nd for 2018, and then here's the federal and state holidays for next year. We need approved for the town.
We good with that?
Obviously, we don't get Mother's Day. I don't know why it's included.
yeah,
It was just copied.
okay. Yeah, I'm good with this.
All right, so I'll make a motion to reschedule the January Board of Selectmen meetings to January 8th and January 22nd, and also approve the town holiday schedule.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, a discussion of tree cutting on or about 4426 White Mountain Highway. Is anybody in here? Is that, what's that?
I'm looking for the person. I don't see her.
Okay. I will read to the Board of Selectmen, we are looking into having some tall and leaning trees upon a hill removed. They are in danger or destroying our home. We have looked at our tax map 32, lot 31, and it looks like our property line ends where the town property line begins, at the transfer station. We are unsure of how far back our line goes. We are trying to make sure that we are not cutting trees from the town property. I have been in touch with Pat Smith, the town administrator, and the assessing department. No one seems to know whose the property belongs to. So I was told to contact the board to see if someone here may be of help. The property address is 789 White Mountain Highway, map 32, lot 31, deed on the page 4426, book 812, our phone number. Geez.
She's called frequently.
No, I don't have a glass ball. I mean,
No, no.
I would have to say that, you know, she's gonna have to get together with Pat and I mean, yeah, I mean, I just don't really have a clear answer, other than she's gonna have to, you know, maybe get some surveying done of her property. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's really much we can do here.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't
Doesn't have
We
time
can't.
survey maps.
set a precedence of doing surveys.
Oh,
When
certainly,
people
I'm not surveying it, but,
want to have some trees cut.
yeah.
So unfortunately, I don't think we can do anything other than recommend them have their property surveyed.
Maybe talk with Pat and see what Pat can.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
Pat, I mean, maybe they can get down there and walk the lines and see if they have.
I think it really is a question of where the property line is, and how many trees they want to cut and everything. But
I mean,
again, we don't have
if
the
they can
survey.
figure out where their lot lines are and stuff, and if the trees fall on their property, then, you know, but they're gonna have to do some legwork, it sounds like. So, unfortunately, I wish I could be a bigger help, but it's what I got. Okay?
I'll let them know.
Yeah. Now, is there a reason why we have 3 of these? Are these all,
I think you just got lucky with the
Oh,
copy
okay.
machine.
okay.
So you need to replace the copy machine. It's been miserable.
I get 3 as well, so it was consistent.
I got 3.
Okay. So discussion on Keno proposal in town. And this is just preliminary, it was just brought to the board. I've been reading it. You know, of course, you know, there's a lot to talk about here. You know, I'm not against it. I guess they're gonna come in and talk to us on,
Future date?
If we request,
Do
I
you want
think,
to?
yeah.
only if we want them to.
How do you feel about it, is basically what they want to know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to learn more about it, and, you know, it does support, you know, kindergarten. You know, it doesn't say that you have to have it to get the support, but, you know, that's what the money goes towards, so,
Notice they gave us the wording for the warrant. The only
Yeah.
question is time-wise, we're kind of short because we'd have to have a public hearing prior to the deliberative session, so that's my only concern timing-wise. I can ask if they could come to the selectmen meeting in January 8th. but,
yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, we'd have to wait till next week. I mean, next year.
Yeah, see if they can come in.
Okay.
I mean, what are you feeling, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like regardless of whether we accept it or not, we're gonna receive funding. And basically, if I understood what I read correctly, down the road, it's gonna be based off, you're gonna get a minimum amount per student, and you could get a maximum of X amount more dollars depending on how much
Mm-hmm.
the Keno game was used in your town,
I mean,
based off usage.
right. I mean, where I'm at with this is, I think personally we should let the people of the town decide. And that,
Which is
what's that?
what we have to do
Right.
anyway.
Right.
It's just a question of whether the Board of Selectmen puts it as a warrant article, or there's a citizen petition to put it as a warrant article. I mean, if we put it up as a warrant article, the people are gonna decide it regardless.
We need to decide on public, so we can plan a
We
public
just need to
hearing.
make our mind up whether we wanna do that or not.
Right.
I mean, I honestly, I don't really have an opinion one way or another on it. At the current moment, they didn't really give that much information here. It's basically just how to get it implemented in the town and what you're gonna get for funding out of it.
I mean, I think it would be good to hear the representative out.
I'll call and see if we can do
And-
January 8th.
You know, we're gonna at least, you know, let him give him his shot on, you know, what he has to say about it,
Right.
and
It did say that you have limited people, so
I'll call tomorrow and see what I can get.
I don't know if they'll be able to come in or not, but.
Okay.
okay.
All right.
What? Okay. Are you all set? Okay, so we have the acceptance of donated photos and paintings by Stan Nato.
Stan and Mr. and Mrs. Stan Nato wanted to call me today, made sure I included his wife, Tina.
Okay.
They have some photos and some paintings that they were able to pick up while they're in their traveling, and they'd like to donate them to the town hall and the town administrator's office. They're in that big circle, but to accept them, we need the board to do so. So Mr. and Mrs. Stan Nato, and I guess it was Tina's idea, so he wanted me to make sure I pointed that out. So I am pointing that out, and we appreciate that.
Very good. Do you want to make a motion?
Sure. So I'll make the motion as stated to accept the donations from Mr. and Mrs. Nato.
Okay, and I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
Stan.
thank you, Stan.
Tina.
And Tina.
And Tina.
Appreciate it. Thinking of the town. Okay. So up next, we have to discuss and review the final cost of the town hall flooring, town hall wall, office construction, and the Veterans Park well project. So Ryan, you're up.
Yep, all right, so I just wanted to review what we approved for funding for these projects and what the actual project's cost. So for the town hall flooring project, the Board of Selectmen approved $12,900. $12,975 was spent. And in that, unfortunately, there is some material left over that we had to pay for. On the town hall wall project, the Board of Selectmen approved $1,500. The total cost of that project at the end was $3,693.72. The Veterans Park well project, the Board of Selectmen approved $2,860. The total cost of that project was $5,580.25.
Who's doing the estimating on this project? Or are they just quotes?
So,
We'll get to you.
unfortunately, additional funds other than what was approved by the Board of Selectmen shouldn't have been spent. However, it was, and the correct process wasn't followed. And if the other two board members aren't aware of it, there's not much we can do. And unfortunately, we ended up in a predicament where the work was done, the projects were completed, and if we didn't pay the bills, it was going to affect other things going on in the town. I don't really have much else to say other than in the future we really got to be careful and got to make sure the right people are running these projects.
Totally agree.
And I just wanted to make sure we went through this because we need to be transparent and let everybody know what this costs at the end of the day.
Right. Really, you know, this just became, I just learned about the final cost on these projects just recently. It's not what we voted for, but unfortunately, the person that was in charge of the projects isn't here, and we need to keep the town moving forward. This isn't the way that I certainly do, the way I operate, and I know it's not the way my colleague operates. So we just want to make it, like Ryan said, very transparent. Moving forward, we're going to have the right people overlooking these projects, and it's really, unfortunately, that's all I really have. I mean, other than that, you know, I guess I'm sorry. You know, so go ahead.
Can we set up something in the future so this doesn't happen again?
There's things in place now that if proper policy and procedure was followed, this wouldn't have happened.
But it did happen. So what I'm saying is, what do we do so it doesn't happen again? Because I don't see that stopped it.
Well, you know, when I took office and swore in oath, I swore in to be honest and truthful. And I mean, a lot of this is how this works. You got to be, you know, truthful and honest. And unfortunately, you know, some of this stuff wasn't that way. And it's tough to talk about, but it has to be talked about. And
forgive me if I did something sensitive or something. I wasn't trying to.
No, it's fine. It's just, you know, that's not the way that we operate. So moving forward, hopefully, you know, things.
Well, can we devise something like, well, we have a gentleman here that goes by when, like your wall and everything, the wall that was put up and everything, shouldn't the inspector gone by and checked it? Well, do we have something like that in place where somebody can go by and check that it's on key? You know, not leave it up to just one person totally?
Yeah, well, it should have been that person that was doing the project.
Be doing it.
Yeah, it's just.
I got you.
apologize.
Okay.
But, any other questions?
I missed the quote on the flooring. What was the quote, Brian? I'm sorry.
It was, Board of Selectmen approved $12,900 and $12,975 was spent.
Thank you.
You know, I will say that on the well, I did get a quote. We were gonna go back on town water for Veterans Park, and it was around $5,000 to have the water hooked back up in Veterans Park. Because I went down to the water precinct and had a meeting with them, and that's what they came up with. You know, unfortunately, the well went over cost, but at the end of the day, we don't have a water bill down at the town park, down at the Veterans Park. We're not gonna have a meter bill, and we're not gonna have a water bill that would run around $1,000 a year if we had town water. So it's still, you know, having the well, it's still, you know, wonderful. They're not gonna have to haul water in their vehicles anymore, the veterans, to take care of the flowers and maintain the Veterans Park. But we just want to let you know that, you know, it did run more than anticipated, and that's what it is. So, any other questions? Okay. So, an update on the sale of the old fire station.
Yeah, so I put this on here. I'd like to turn it over to Heather if you don't mind. Here.
Yeah, oh, no, go ahead.
'Cause she's been working all the fine details on this, so.
Yeah. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, Heather, just start, explain exactly what happened with the fire station.
We had 4 bids, as most people know. We accepted the high bid. We're moving forward with it. We brought it to the town attorney. The town attorney discovered that because the property was originally given to the town, that it falls under the charitable trust division. So then we had to go look for the deed and the survey on the property. Because it was given to the town, the property was given to the town, we cannot sell it for less than what the appraisal is, or less than what the appraisal is minus the cost of sale, which would be a realtor fee commission. So then we had to incur the cost of having it appraised. We didn't know all this because I guess even though we had gone through the right steps of putting it up for sale and going through the bid process, our last attorney did not fully look into it, I guess, or something. So the Attorney General came back and said, no, we really had to do this. So we came up with the appraisal. The appraisal came in, and it was substantially higher than the high bid. We went back to the high bidder and asked them if they would like to meet us, especially where we could take off for the cost of the Realtor Commission. They said they were interested still. They'd still like to be part of the discussion, but that's higher than what they could go. In the meantime, we heard from one of the other bidders. They're still interested, but I explained to them the situation, and they haven't got back to us yet. So right now, we have to decide what to do with the fire station. That's where we sit.
That's our, go ahead, Peg.
How much more was the appraisal?
I think it's public information.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna
yeah.
just-
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point.
And the appraisal came in at 135.
Okay.
In the high bid was,
91,650.
Yeah.
so really, you know, where we're at is, you know, what are we gonna do with the building? And my personal thoughts was to hang the banner back out there and just try to sell it. Put it for sale on the building, and we know what we need to get for the building now, and if we can get, you know, minus the 10% or whatever, that's where I'm at with it. I mean, it doesn't do any good to just sit there. We could use the revenue to put back in the fund balance to help buy the tax rate down. So I think, you know, to move forward, that's where I'm at with the building. I don't know where you're at, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, certainly letting the building sit there and deteriorate isn't the right thing to do, that's for sure. And just letting it sit there, that's exactly what's gonna happen. I'm good with, I mean, we can try to sell it on our own, but I think that there's gonna come a time where maybe we need to talk to a realtor. I mean, they're gonna get more exposure than we are. But it's not gonna cost us much of anything to try on our own at first.
And we can put it on a few websites, we can,
Put it on a few websites, put it on the town website, maybe consider it for maybe 3 months or something, and then we still have it by, say, March 1st.
you know, I think the market's pretty good right now. I think if you get the word out, I think that building will sell. Somebody would love that.
So many issues.
So-
Aren't there a lot of issues with it?
Well, there is,
No.
but so what? People fix stuff. Yeah. So,
I don't want it.
are you interested?
Sure,
All right.
sure, I'll put in a bid. 135, huh? Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Can we give the building away? I'm just thinking about economic development kind of thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you could
Thank you.
Haven't asked that
kind of
question.
talk it around that, you know, it may be a good location for a type of business, and if somebody steps up, if we're allowed to do
Like
that.
that.
I mean, it's not as if
Yeah.
we're paying anything for it, really, right? I mean, it's just sitting there.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. I just think
It's
that,
just a thought. I'm
Yeah.
not, you know.
I just think that, you know, in fairness, that the, you know, the taxpayers, you know, it could help alleviate, you know, by, you know, buy some tax rate down, or, you know, I think it's just, that's kind of where I'm at, but, go ahead, Larry.
Okay. Do you have the written opinion of the Attorney General's office citing the exact statutory language? Do you have any, in that statutory opinion, does it cite any provision for either PSI or CYPRE, CYPRE, which is the doctrine that the original purpose of the charitable trust cannot be followed due to time and circumstance? Is there any indication that the property was given and what restrictions were imposed by the giver at that time? Then, do you have any authority under that general doctrine to accept an offer which follows the general intent of a gift for the benefit of the town, which by its use adds to the economic base of the town, brings in a business, provides for a public kiosk, provides for public bathrooms, provides for a tourist information booth as a given condition of the sale of the building?
Go ahead.
We did look at what, part of whether we could sell it or not was whether or not what the intent of the gift was.
Mhm.
So that was one of the things that the attorney went back and forth with the Attorney General with, because initially they were concerned we could not sell it at all or do anything with it. They did determine that we could sell it by looking at the actual will that was the document that they had. That was as far as it went on to that area, because they were able to determine from the will that they could sell it and what it was given to the town for.
And if I may, the last question, I don't understand the 10%. Does that mean that a buyer who had all their financial ducks in a row could purchase that $135,000 property less the 10%, which would go to a broker? Or is it a 10% on top of the 135?
No, if we didn't have to pay a realtor commission, if a realtor's not involved.
Then it could go down, it could be 10% less,
Less.
nominal 120. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay? So, go ahead, Peg.
I'm sorry, Andy, but just following up on the economic development, can it be rented?
the town is, if you ask my personal opinion, the building needs a lot of work. That's why it's not a fire station anymore. It's
Right, I know
beyond-
that.
It was beyond what we ever wanted to put into it. And second of all, the town is not into renting properties.
I
So,
know, but rather than it just sitting there,
well,
With all that said, it's not worth $135,000.
that's what I say too, but.
Don't
No.
kill my marketability, people.
no, well, we haven't really honestly tried to. I mean,
Understood.
yeah, let's just,
Trying is a good idea, but if
Yeah.
it doesn't work,
I believe the Attorney General, there was some verbiage in there about if we try to sell it through a realtor, and after a period of time, we either get offers that are significantly lower than the appraisal, we might be able to go down the path of,
Getting another appraisal.
right,
So we can pay another $2,500.
no, I think,
Option, but it is true.
Yeah.
I mean,
We don't have any other choice at this point.
I think let's just, my personal opinion, let's just throw the banner back out.
We need to do it because it says option.
Yeah,
Okay, maybe not.
or just a
I mean, we're just,
regular for
we're not
sale.
putting out for bid, we're putting it
Yeah,
for sale.
Yeah.
Call us.
Yeah.
Call Brian.
Yeah, so, go ahead, Larry.
Thank you. Just one more thing. It is possible to structure a lease. Back in Victorian England, people thought that the pound would never vary, and they entered into 999-year leases. The standard extraordinary lease is now 99 years. You can structure a lease so that it requires the terms of the taxes to be paid at the given purchase price. You can structure a lease so that such and such improvements have to be made, which improvements are the property of the town until the property sale is negotiated. So, and you can negotiate a lease so that if they spit on the sidewalk, they're thrown out.
Okay. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
What are you doing? Motion for?
So I'll make a motion for the town to put the fire station up for sale
Privately, without a realtor?
privately. And I think we should shoot for the 135, asking price at 135.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What's that? Oh, yeah. Okay, up next, discussion on retracting the sale of 16 Spruce Lane due to the town assessment concerns and given information from the town contracted assessor.
Yep, so I put this on here. As much as I'd like to sell that property because it is sitting and deteriorating like the fire station, I'm very concerned that we based our reserve off from information from the contracted town assessors. And quite frankly, it seems like a lot of assessments went up and that one went down. I don't understand. And I understand the house is, nobody's living in the house right now, but still, if all the other values are going up, that property value should go up as well, and I don't understand why it hasn't. So I think for that reason, I think we should retract the sale of this property temporarily and maybe hold off till next year when we have some more that we could have an auction.
Have a spring.
The spring, or yeah. I just think we have some information that to me is a little concerning and it's not consistent. So I don't like, we based our decision off from what we heard from the contract town assessor. And it seems that since we did that, we've discovered a lot of issues. So I'll put that in the form of a motion. to retract the sale of 16 Spruce Lane temporarily.
Well, let me just talk about it for a second. You know, we asked the assessor to go back out, look at the property. She looked at it and made, you know, her assessment, which was lower, because the house is falling down, more or less.
I went in the house too, as far from falling down.
Well, it's, you know, it's in very rough shape. I mean, you know.
I disagree.
I mean, we you know, we're giving the squirrels a good place to live this winter. Go ahead.
Is it okay if I ask a question out of line?
Sure.
I know I'm not supposed to wait to public comments, but I thought during the year that we all discussed all town-owned property, and I believe we all agreed that we were going to put them all off till next year. Why are we selecting one now?
We selected that property because that was the only property we had in town that had a building on it.
Oh, so the one on Silver Street, we don't own it anymore?
We can't sell it yet, John. We can't sell that till next year. We have to wait the 3 years. So yes, we do own it, but we can't sell it.
We did say that.
Yeah, I thought we all agreed it wasn't going on until next year because I was involved with the Dixon House up the road.
Mhm.
You all agreed we put that on hold also with all of them for the rest of the year to do the schoolhouse.
Yes, and then this came up again later on.
Oh, I'm not aware of any of that.
And it was decided to.
My question is, I guess, why did it resurface?
Well, it resurfaced because, you know, if we can sell these homes that the town has, you know, tax deeded, unfortunately, and to get them back on the tax roll, to make tax revenue for the town.
Oh, I understand all that.
Yes, I know you do, and that's why that this property was voted on by the board to do this closed bid process. But I understand where Ryan's coming from, and I respect his opinion, and I'm going to actually second his motion. And I think
if you don't mind, one more thing. I'm very familiar with the building. There's a very structural sound. There's no rot or nothing in that building.
Good.
It's nothing like the one up here in the hill.
Okay.
It's
All
in
right.
good shape.
All right, thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll second Ryan's motion, and we'll wait till the spring. Probably be a little bit better anyways. The snow will be going.
So we're gonna just vote, right?
What's that?
Vote.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So-
I'll take it off the website.
So up next is a discussion on the Varney Road complaint follow-up. I actually went down there just to take a look. And did Pat talk to you about this, or?
I asked Brian to look into it. I haven't heard back from Brian on it yet, but
Okay.
it's basically the individual is putting, it's class 6 road that person, so they can have gates, but they can't lock them, and the person is locking the gates and also putting no trespassing signs.
Right, so it's a town-owned road, it's a town-owned gate, and somebody has put no trespassing on the gate. So my suggestion is for you to ask Pat, is to go down and just move the 2 signs that are on our gate to the trees. And I think that will alleviate this whole concern.
Ask Brian.
Go ahead, Chief.
Do you know if the signs have names on them, who they're trespassing?
I wrote down there, they didn't have any names on them, Chief.
So why don't we just take them off and throw them away?
Okay, do that.
Yeah.
And I guess the individual, the
I'm good
concern,
with taking them off. I don't know if we should stick them on.
the
Well,
concern was the gate was also being locked too, and it can't be locked because,
Well, it's not, when I looked at it, it
Next
wasn't
time.
locked, it wasn't locked, it was pinned.
Next time the gate's locked, just call and I'll go out with bolt cutters. There won't be a lock on it anymore.
All right, so can you have Pat
I'll have
remove the
Pat.
signs?
Pat removed signs. I had Brian look into it, I just haven't heard back.
All right, thank you so much, appreciate it. It's pretty easy.
If someone keeps locking it, please let my department know and we'll patrol it extra. We have different ways to figure out who's the person who's locking it.
Okay.
we can deal with that aspect.
You might want to check to see who has executive authority to remove the sign. Pat may not have it. That authority might be either with the police or with Brian as the code enforcement officer. And Pat might not be the authorized person to remove the sign.
All right, just look into that.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'll take them down tomorrow morning.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Don't want anybody.
All right, moving on to the approval of the minutes. Good meeting.
Yeah, so Tuesday, November 14th.
Mhm.
Just one thing, Heather's last name is spelled wrong, but at least it's not spelled like mine. But other than that, I think they're all right. Are you good with them?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll make a motion to accept the budget workshop and board of selectmen meeting minutes of November 14th, 2017.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye. All right. Next, we have the November 17th special meeting minutes for Board of Selectmen. You good with those?
I'm very good with it.
I'll make a motion to accept those as written.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The November 20th ones, I'm going to recommend that we table those to add more detail at the end.
And enlighten me.
On the non-public. We don't have everything that should be in there. Of what we wanted
Okay.
there, and then
Yep.
when we came back out, what
Yeah.
was
we
discussed,
talked
that
about
should be
non-public.
added.
What
Okay.
section?
All right.
RSA's and then decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right. So,
21st?
down to the 21st. You good with those?
yeah,
Make a motion to accept the November 21st Board of Selectmen meeting minutes.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye. And then the joint Board of Selectmen and Budget meeting of December 4th.
Yep.
You good with those?
I'm good with them.
And I will make a motion to accept those.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and that's it on the minutes. Expenditure report. Do you have anything to say with this, Heather?
We're trying to get a lot of that stuff cleaned up and out of it before the end of the year. Joanne was here for quite a while. We're still finding little tweaks. What we're doing is going through the details. We're getting there. You know, it's helping that Vanessa's putting in some more time. But there are still tweaks that we're getting to.
We're at total, you know, we're at right there where we should be, 97% used. So, okay,
Good, Jen. End of the year.
okay.
I just don't know if we at least want to just have the fire chief discuss this, no?
No.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
Next meeting then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So up next is the administrative comments.
Okay, we need to talk about setting the date for the deliberative session. I've emailed the town moderator, I think Ryan was gonna make a mention on that tonight, to set our date.
Okay.
Did we talk about this one?
Yeah.
Yes, yep. So I'll make the motion now if you want to set the town meeting
To the
deliberative session date of February 10th.
And then it's up to the moderator to pick the time.
And, oh boy, we got hands going up like you wouldn't believe.
Snow date?
That we're working with the moderator on yet. We've got a question into legal about that. Because there is a question as to whether it's Sunday. The legal opinion, we initially heard that the school got, is actually an opinion only for town meeting towns. We're SB2 towns. So we're not sure it applies. So we're questioning first off that. Second, we're also questioning if we have the snow if we have it in the morning, can we have a snow day in the afternoon? So we're looking at those two things.
Bob?
Okay, I'm just gonna say it, the school has already set their deliberative session at February 10th. They've already set theirs. So yours would have to be February 3rd.
They told me they were gonna do it February 3rd. I talked to them Friday and they said they were doing February 3rd.
School board meeting, school board member?
I thought it was going to be the 10th. There was something about the 3rd, and I know we had talked about
Initially,
having both of them the same day because of something.
Initially, we go first. Usually, we would go first this year, and you would go second. There was some conflicts, so they wanted to flip-flop. So that was why they were going to take that date.
All right, because the last I heard, there was something going on, and we're going to try to see if we could have both of them the same day.
That's because of that issue with the legal opinion your attorney gave, and then now we're looking at other opinions because your attorney's opinion was actually looking at whether it was a town meeting town as opposed to an SB2 town, which is a different opinion. So,
All right, but he should know what we are.
he should. But we're looking at it. But if you look at the
It's your
opinion,
attorney.
Well, I know, and he should know.
but that's kind of what we're questioning. But we're working on it.
She, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's
She-
Barbara for that one? Okay.
Okay.
I've
But
been
that's
dealing
the
with
question.
a couple of hymns.
So-
So what do we do?
Well, it has to, by statute, it has to happen between the 3rd and the 10th.
Correct.
And Sundays, we think are out. We're not sure, but. And
Do you know
the other
what?
option
We may
is
have done
nights.
hours at night. Hold
But
on.
I've talked to several people, including the moderator, and you know, most people feel that we shouldn't do it at night. I know
Yep.
other towns, some towns do.
I have hours scheduled for the 10th at 1 o'clock.
So you could schedule ours at 8, but we could talk to, we have to talk to the moderator for time anyways.
So you're saying the same day, 8 o'clock in the morning?
I don't think they knew that we were gonna ask for the 10th, because this was on Friday, and then all these other issues came up.
I mean, if they're going at 1, why couldn't we just go like at 10?
Rather than 8?
What's that?
Rather than 8 o'clock in the morning?
Why not?
Why, that's not good?
We've been there for 8 hours before.
Yes.
Okay.
Long
I
day.
think we could plan on doing it 8 too. But we're supposed to go first anyways this year, so even if they were going at, what time?
1.
Even if they're going at 1, we could still do the morning. It's our turn to go first.
Yeah, I think we should. I just don't know how many people would get there at 8. Show up at 8. And what was the other date? The 3rd?
The 3rd, but there is conflicts with the 3rd. I think we plan on it for 8:30, maybe ask you
I
moderate.
mean, I don't think 8's that early, but
I don't know. 8:30.
Well, we said 10, why don't we shoot for 9?
are we gonna have enough time though between, that's my concern.
9, 10, 11, 12, 1, that's 4 hours.
We don't have, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of warrants.
We're not that bad this year for warrants, and if it goes over a little bit, then the school board,
And they might change knowing when they find out that we're gonna do it on the 10th, so. I mean, they could not.
Okay.
So do you wanna make it,
shoot for 9?
I'll make a motion, I just wanna make sure
why don't we shoot for it and then see what happens?
it's not gonna be a cluster.
What's wrong with the 3rd?
There's conflicts on the 3rd. Do you wanna?
I'd say shoot for 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm getting a bunch of yes nods.
Okay. Okay, so make a motion.
All right, so I'll make a motion to set the town meeting deliberative session on February 10th at 9 o'clock.
I'll talk to Earl and
I'll
Nathan
second it.
tomorrow.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll talk to the school tomorrow, and then I'll get
Yes.
hold of the moderator. If anything comes up, we can deal with it, but let's shoot for something, let's have something,
Right, but check on that
first thing.
first thing,
Okay.
please.
Next I had is, I gave you, we have two, you said go out for bid for assessing services.
Mhm.
We have two here.
Okay.
I've contacted 6 different companies, some have chosen not to bid
Mhm.
because they have concerns about stepping into what we have going on. We do have Cochran's too that's already in place. And then we are expecting another bid that come in probably tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
Avatar is currently our software. The transition would be the easiest one with their bid because there was not a lot of transition. They use their software. They used to do the tab, and that was in 2004, 2005. They're familiar with us. I spent some time Saturday with 2 town administrators, actually, just delivering toys actually, on Saturday morning, that use Avatar and love it. A number of towns that I've spoken to in the last couple of weeks have switched from Cochrane to Avatar and are very happy with their services. MRI is another one. I did speak to a budget committee member in the town that uses MRI. They're happy with it. They're very nice on the phone. So those are the 2 that we have so far. We have another one, like I said, a small one coming in.
Okay.
So, I mean, I do think we kind of have to figure out who, where we're going.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll take a look at these over the next couple of days.
You get back to me, and then
Yeah.
maybe,
Yep.
maybe
We get
in
that.
January, Cochrane asked if we needed them to do any kind of temporary services in the beginning of January, because our contract with them is up. I told them I'd bring it to the board. I didn't think we did, but I just wanted to bring it to you guys.
Yeah, probably good.
You good? Okay.
How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I thought so, but I just,
I will. They didn't re-quote, right?
well, we have their quote.
Yeah.
They,
I will.
they asked if they could again, and I said, well, we already have your quote. What change would it matter?
Right. I just like to compare it, just for the heck of it.
It's pretty comparable. Actually, it's more, but it is more, but. So,
Yep.
Okay.
And then you're waiting for one more.
I'm waiting for one more. And then we have to probably make a decision when we get either, but I think we're meeting on the 8th. I don't see a lot happening between now and the 8th. We've gotten about 10 applications for abatements back. That's kind of where we are.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to encourage, anybody who thinks they got an unfair assessment to please, do your due diligence and come in and fill an abatement out and so we can relook at your property. So hopefully people will do that.
I had a long conversation when Avatar looked at everything and put their bid in. They expected that situation they were going to be stepping into. And I had a long conversation with Lauren, and she said, she reminded me of another town that had a similar situation happen, and she said, we straightened that out, and it's true that down there, tax rate has gone down each year since they took over in 2006. It was a mess, and each year it's gone down since.
And you have till March 1st to do your abatement, so just a little FYI, if you're going to do an abatement, you have till March 1st to do it. So.
Town hall will be closing at noon on Friday for the Christmas party. So, want to wish everyone happy holidays.
Just speak up.
Oh, wish everyone happy holidays, whatever you choose to celebrate. We're closing at noon on Friday. And that's about all I have so far. We're department heads are meeting tomorrow, going over a few things. with going over warrant articles. Moving forward.
Okay. Selectmen's comments.
All right, I don't have too much tonight, just want to wish everybody happy holidays and happy new year. And I think we're moving in the right direction, we just need to keep going. One thing that we do need to work on making a decision on is filling the empty seat that we have in March, and we are working on that. And I would expect that we should be coming to making a decision come the first of the year, hopefully. I don't want to speak for both of us, but I think we're
Yeah, it's fair
on the
statement.
same page. So again, just hope everybody has a good holiday and a happy new year.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Yep.
I just want to really, I want to just thank all, I mean, we've had a good year here overall. I want to thank all the department heads, all the town employees that work very hard for this town. You know, living in a small community like this, you kind of get to know each other, and all their work does not go unnoticed. We have great employees in this town, and I just want to thank every one of them for everything they've done over the course of the year. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah and a happy a New Year. Hopefully be safe out there. I think that's really all I have for tonight. And the reef, this little reef here, the kindergarten, Miss Everett's and Miss Foster's class. Is it Foster? I'm sorry, I can't see. Forcier, I'm sorry. Thank you. Made this reef for the selectmen's quarters, so thank you to the kindergartners. That's very nice. So that's, I guess, do you have anything else? Anybody? No? Okay, so.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I apologize if I missed anybody's, the way they celebrate. But, so moving on with the public comments. Is there any public comments tonight? I'm sure, Larry, come on.
Yeah.
You got something.
I got
Come on.
budget committee. Just speaking generally, that we are just about to January, and the better the warrants are done in that mythical $500,000 figure, with the final wording, so that the budget committee can do their up and down on the financial ones that are spending money. That would be nice. Other thing, I do not believe there is any statutory authority or necessity to switch who goes first for the deliberative session. If there is, it would be nice. If we wind up doing it like odd and even license plates for people who remember gas lines, that would be fine with me. That way you would know automatically what you're going to do. If there is a major prohibition, major impediment, either from the selectmen or from the school board, that rules out the third for them going, fine. Absent that, tomorrow night the budget committee is meeting. I have no problem with a triple quorum. If the school board can be in quorum, if the selectmen can be in quorum, and if there is a need, and by then you should have the final legal opinion as to what can be done for a 9 a.m. start date, start time for the town meeting. The school, the moderator can, of his own authority, call the school deliberative session into session and recess it for X amount of time if the town meeting is almost done. So there are ways to solve it. I would like it to be as smooth as possible. Yeah. Anyone else?
Oh, I like that.
Do you have anything else, Larry?
Yeah, I do. Kwanzaa was started at the University of California at Berkeley after my marriage in 1966. It is not, shall we say, an ancient holiday. For those of us who follow the solstice, as of December 11th, light is returning, and in spite of the Kiva dancers of the Southwest, they do not force the sun back into the sky because it is hiding.
How about the 21st, not the 11th?
Right now, eventually, I mean, if you come back in another 2,500 years, Vega will be the pole star.
Oh, okay.
Neither the Chinese nor the Babylonian zodiac are accurate. Glad you asked.
Okay, anything else, Larry?
That's
All
enough.
right, we'll have
Oh,
Kwanzaa.
Mary Humbug.
Oh, can she had,
Sure. I just have to, one is
could you
this-
state your name, please?
I'm so sorry,
Don't
Lynette McDougal.
Okay, thank you,
I'm
Mrs.
so
McDougal.
sorry.
Yeah,
I forgot who I was. On this casino proposal, is that open to the public?
oh, yeah.
Oh, it is, so everyone can go see it. Where's it gonna be at?
That's not determined. It's where they serve beverages,
Of course.
okay?
Oh,
So,
that's why I wanna go. No, I'm
Right.
kidding.
It's not a casino, it's Keno.
it's Keno.
Keno,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wait,
she's up, Larry. You gonna take her spot? Go ahead, Mrs. McDougal.
mine's gonna be quicker. Okay, the next thing is,
On your software you're getting, just a suggestion, whatever software you guys want to use, have them come out, if you can, and put that software on a couple computers that they can test. That you guys can, knock around and stuff like that, because at Frisbee Hospital, they picked one person to change their software. It disrupted them for about 6 months.
Okay, it's actually for the cemetery program, so maybe that's something we should talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a
I can answer
suggestion.
a few, thank you for your concerns. We have probably as many as 7 companies we're working with right now, and amongst the 7, we've rejected 1 already. We're very, very strong on the process that they're saying that we can't follow because we don't have the money to pay for input on data, number 1. And number 2, the cost seems tremendously high to us compared to other companies we've talked to. So if you're interested in involvement at all on it, we are going to have a meeting Wednesday at 10 o'clock right here. And we'll be talking in detail on the software packages.
Okay.
do a list of those software packages?
This is the cemetery burial search software.
I mean, do you have a list of those applications?
Yes, I will. They'll be at the meeting.
I was gonna look at them beforehand, that's why
I
I was
don't have
asking.
with me. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay, thank you. Thank you, that's all, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Chief.
I just want to remind everyone that it is the lovely snow season, and with the snow season comes snow on top of our vehicles, snow and ice. Jessica's Law, which anybody that follows our Facebook page, we posted it on there. Since last Tuesday, we've stopped about 20 people for failure to clean their vehicles off. We are going to continue to stop people. The citation for that is actually negligent driving. You get a negligent driving citation on your license, and you get convicted of that. That goes to your insurance company. Your insurance company sees negligent driving on your insurance. It looks the same as a major for reckless driving, or same standard of points as similar to reckless or DWI. It's a $310 or $350 fine, and we can ask for up to a 30-day loss of license. So people need to make sure they're completely cleaning their vehicles off of all snow and ice.
Okay. Thanks for that information. So, good, John.
My name is John Cowart. I'd like to give you an update on the Jones Brook Park.
Okay.
The sign that I have up there, I plan on now, especially with what's being used for, take it out here probably the first of the year. The Jones Brook Park, my goal was to get some volunteers together with approval with the board and the Conservation Department to take and clear it up and bring it back to light. To maybe advertise on the scenic byway again that's been taken off because of it being closed.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is, and I think I'm going to succeed, is using people who are already wanting to volunteer to help me. And also, we're working some programs already started with some of the management of the school system that I think they feel like they'd like to be a part of it. As well as another restoration of the schoolhouse that I've already mentioned several times.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the Conservation Department has discussed this, and they feel like they would like to put it off until spring. So we'll talk about it in the spring, and I'll take that sign out of here after Christmas.
Okay. Thank you, John, for your help. Betsy, do you have any updates on the library or anything going on? Or
Yes, we have a lot going on.
yeah.
We're changing how we do our story times, and we'll have 2 story times a month on Wednesday afternoons, one at the library, and then we'll also have them at various locations around town, and the first one will be at the fire station, and that will be January 24th.
Okay.
We're going to have our winter doldrums party on January 10th. And the librarians at the Milton Elementary School and at Newt and the rec director and I have been working together on a Milton Learns program, and we're going to be doing a First Peoples and Native American program. And we already have started in the schools kids learning about crafts and foods and weapons and hunting, and we will have an Abenaki storyteller, and we will have several other programs happening in the next couple of months.
Okay. Sounds great. Thanks for all your hard work, Betsy. Appreciate it. Anything else? Any other public comments? Go ahead, sir.
If you're at liberty to talk about it, is there any issue? Is there any progress on potential for Comcast coming on board?
Yeah, I've asked Heather to look into it. She's looking into how other communities are Rochester, how they've gone about bringing Comcast into Rochester, and she's working on that. Next year, our contract's up for MetroCast, so that's what we're going to be working. That's one of our things that we're going to be working on.
Coming in. There's nothing that prohibits them from coming in, but they'd have to have enough of a market to come in. And the way Rochester did it is they have both, and the way they have both is because there's, again, the law says they can both be there. When I made some calls last week, I found out that they'd have to have enough markets or an adjoining town that has it. Rochester is going to have that. So probably once that happens, Milton may be an option, but it would not be right away.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I think once they get into Rochester, we're adjoining town. So, but we are gonna be looking into MetroCast and in service, and there's a lot to look at there. So, and it's going to be a lot of work, but we'll get it done.
As a citizen, did you want to talk? I'm sorry.
Thomas McDougal. Anybody has an issue with MetroCast, call them. They claim that they can tell if you've got service or not. I'm not sure I buy it. If you have an issue, call them. If you don't tell them you've got an issue, they're probably not going to know.
Yeah, I know, because last time, I'll get you, Chief.
They ran and gave a presentation a year ago, and that was the one thing that he said. He quoted all the quality of service numbers and all this nonsense, which I consider it nonsense. And the bottom line was, he said, if you have a problem, call. So if you have an issue, call. Every day you have a problem, call them. If you don't call them, if you don't tell them, they don't know. If you get a soda at McDonald's and it ends up being carbonated water with no flavor, and if you don't tell them, they don't know. So you have to call them, you have to complain about it for them to know that, hey, there's a problem here.
And the MetroCast complaint number is on the website, so our town website. So if you,
I urge you to call.
Yeah.
Call early, call often. If you got 6 members in your family, have 6 people call and tell them you've got a problem. If you don't tell them, they don't know.
Thank you, Tom. Okay. Anything else, sir?
Just one thing.
Yeah.
I know it's been a rough year for the selectmen and the school board and quite a lot of the boards here in this town and everything, with all the ups and downs, but everybody seems to have made it to this part of the year, and I congratulate you guys and for everything you've done for us, and also for our firemen and our police officers. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Lynette. Appreciate that. Go ahead, Chief.
I was just gonna echo what Tom said. I had a service tech out the other day, and he said, call us. I had a 10-year-old cable modem, and I would have thought they would have replaced that, but I never complained about it, and it never worked for the last 5 years, and I just dealt with it and unplugged it, and so, call.
Yeah.
Every day, all day.
All right, thanks, Chief. Anybody else? Lynn? Aaron, I mean, my bad. All right. Okay, well, thanks again, everybody. Again, Merry Christmas, and hopefully everybody has and whatever else. And have a good night. We're going to go back into a non-public. Non-public 91A32C.
I like what you said.
All in favor?
There's a couple things you can go with.
Oh, actually.